this is how it appears to be. Okay, so maybe I will second open connect to the server. Okay, so this, as I said, it's an application. It's an application which is running. So it has to be residing inside an application server, right? So this application server we are currently using is Apache Tomcat. Like that, we can go for JBoss. Hope you are aware of these terms, JBoss, or even that fish, jellyfish, and other stuff which is available in the market. We can go for default. It is most of the customers will go for using this Apache Tomcat. Okay, this is open, free, and open source, so it will be easy to accommodate this. So we have to install this Apache Tomcat on this platform on top of the Windows or Linux. On top of this that platform, this application server has to be installed, and on this server we will be hosting this the RCM application. Okay, this RCM application will be provided by Actimize in that kind of web archive, like a WAR. Okay, WAR file, you are aware, right? That compressed package, that's how they will provide. And in that we will have class files. To run this, we need to make sure that Apache Tomcat is running. Then only the corresponding applications will be running. I mean, the RCM will be running. In this case, I could see since it's from Windows, it is already running. That's why I could see either restart or stop. Okay, yeah. So let me open it. Invalid connection ID. Okay, I think there is something. Let me go with the restart. It's connected to the RCM. Okay, meanwhile, I'll tell you something. So this is how the designer appears to be. And here is the server management part where we will have the list of applications running. For example, mostly not all the customers will hold only one RCM. Okay, for example, I have 4 solutions. I need 4 focus areas. For example, I need to focus on sanction. I need to focus on this transaction monitoring. I should focus on this customer due diligence. Like that, if we have different focus, and a different focus will have its associated customers. So what client used to do is either they will accommodate everything differently, or they will try to accommodate all the solution together in a single RCM. But it is ideal process to have it separated, so the focus can be more. And on the other side, cost is there, but the ideal or recommendation from Actimize usually used to be to have it separated. Okay, single separate RCM for sanction screening, separate RCM designer for CDD and SAM, like that. Okay, CDD means customer due diligence, SAM means suspicious activity monitoring. So in this case, since we are having a simulation environment, we are just having an RCM alone, a single instance. Why I'm saying this is, in server I could see only one. Okay, how to configure this? Probably once it connected, will show you. Meanwhile, we'll go for the other one. This is how. Second, it's loading. This is how. Let me know if I'm going fast or something. Okay, this is how Actimize Visual Modeler appears. This is for the backend. Okay, so here as well, I will have an opportunity to add a server or import some codes to this, or I can have an option to either connect to the machine. Simply how to add a server is by clicking on this add server connection. Maybe we'll go in deep into this, but for now, this is how, again, this AS is a different platform. It should not run on the same platform. Okay, let's be clear. Linux, we have a single Linux platform where this application AS itself is an application or thread inside this Linux process, and it will run separately. And this Tomcat in turn will run as a separate thread, separate application, and it will run differently. Okay, so if you are having both together for a simulation or normal environment, or like a work purpose, I want to learn or something like that, maybe if you are purchasing the license, it is fine. But when it comes to the live environment, it is suggested to differentiate the environments. separate environment for RCM, I mean the Tomcat installation, and a separate environment for AS, I mean Actimize Intelligence Server, the backend. If we are having all together, the problem will be that if something happens to the server or connection issue, something network issue happen, the complete system itself will be down. It will be hard for the operation team or the team technical team to manage those. Okay, that is the reason it has to be separate, and this is from a different server. Okay, and we will have, and it will have, and we can even have multiple servers also listed here. Like as I said, a single AS for WLF alone, single AS for SAM alone, like that. It is recommended to have it separately. Okay, in this training environment we are having separately, and this is how it used to be. And again, as like there, it used to have a connection to this server, and once on activate only, the server will be activated. I can connect to multiple servers, but once I activate only, currently it is connected, that doesn't means that the associated things I could be able to see. So once I go for like activate alone, I could be able to fetch the things which is residing inside this server. So right now I could see all the packages which is in the backend procedures or logics which is running are helping to run this backend process. Okay, let's hold on here. Let me go and tell you something. This case manager is still loading. Maybe let me close and restart. Coming to the desktop. Okay, coming to the desktop. I was saying about Actimize Visual Modeler. I was saying about Risk Case Manager. Then what else is required is the Tomcat, which I showed you. Then associated backend also required. Here in this training purpose, we are going with MS SQL, this platform, to do the stuff. Okay, so coming to Awesome Designer, you talked, and the Visual Designer, you talked. Okay, how it actually appears to be. Let me show you. Okay, one more important thing to be noted here is these are like Actimize Visual Modeler or RCM Designer or current, as per the current scope, Actimize is providing only Windows executable, Windows application. Okay, these are all just like as I said, these are all just a tool to monitor or tool to understand what is happening within the machine. Doesn't means that both should be on the same location. What I'm trying to say is, if my customer is having Linux machine for both Tomcat for RCM and AS Linux for AS machine, they are having two Linux machines, and to have the view or to have this application open, I should definitely have a Windows machine also. Okay, only in Windows machine they are providing an application to use this designer and a modeler. So by default, every customer should have a Windows machine. Why? Because to manage designer and modeler. So how many ever instances you have? For example, I might, as I said, let's consider this example. I have this sanction screening application. I have this CDD application, CDD package with me. I have the SAM package with me. Whatever, how many other solutions I support to the customer, I should have at least a single Windows machine. And using this Windows machine, I can even connect to different server at a time. But the base platform has to be different, and the designer or the tool has to be from a Windows machine only, and a single tool can be used for multiple solution also. Hope it is clear. This is how it is framed. Okay, this part needs to be understood. Then let me try connecting it 1 second to show you how RCM UI will be. Okay, till then connect. 1 second. Till then let it connect. I will go for one more thing. Till the time it connects, let me cover this. Okay. So what is the expectation out of this RCM and AIS? Okay. So the expectation is generation of alert. The alert generation, as I said, it will happen from AIS, and investigation will happen from either Act 1, RCM or ERCM, and the visualization again like a dashboard. Like this is how the frequency and all will again a functionality of Act 1 RCM and ERCM that has to be like a add-on feature. If some customers wants it, some customer don't want it, accordingly we can enable it. And once that is done, even the resolving state also happen from either of this Act 1 RCM or ERCM. This is how the normal flow is: generation of alert, investigating on the same. Mostly it will go and it will take more time in this investigation, and this will call it as a turnaround time for a single alert generated out of this AIS. Okay, then visualization for compliance perspective and for regulatory perspective, and apart from this visualization, we can even pull the reports. Okay, and once it is done, we can go for resolving that alert, and the life cycle of the alert gets closed. Okay, then comes the actual Actimize process. How input, logic, and scoring and action is actually happening. So the input, as you know, from your experience, how this input is, you said that you are a destination system. You receive the input from Actimize, right? So for actual Actimize, the team who's actually working on, for them, there should be some inputs coming in. Okay, that input can be either from transactional data or like a channel data. Some customers will have a dedicated channel, like a payment channel. From that, they will directly derive. And some customers will have directly the CDD and all will come from the customer data. And the reference data will be collected from the relationship manager. And the historical data will be from the company backend. I mean, company database, the previous transaction and all this stuff. These are all the mainly and the inputs for this Actimize process to do or to understand whether it is a potential alert or not. Okay. Then it comes the logic part. So the input will be fed to the AIS. So inputs will be fed to AIS. AIS is the one which is having this logic around. I mean the code for doing the logics and all. So here we can go for descriptive rules. Okay, this means go for this rule or the combination rule. Whether if CDD and alert is generated and some kind of like score is achieved, then go for an alert. Like a combination between the solution we can go. And the profile level, this will part of this customer data. Profile level analysis also we can do. I don't want an alert. I just want to analyze the profile. Like that also we can do. And some of the analytic models, the analytic models will be giving the behavior basically. Analytic model, okay, this is how the customer did the transaction last time and this is how he's doing. There is a change in the transaction. Probably it requires attention to the relationship manager to understand if this is the expected behavior of the customer. So a trigger will go to this relationship manager. Either there is many mechanism to communicate. Either we can send a alert to this RCM, or we can send directly a mail to this relationship manager, whichever mail ID we are configuring within that solution. Okay, then sequence analysis. Sequence means that again like a historic. As I said, it is related with this analytic model to understand the behavior. And this is where the actual thing happens. The scoring part is something that which decides whether it is eligible for an alert or not. When we say it is eligible for an alert or not, that means the actual logic or the actual code is validated with the data provided by us. Okay, so for this, first of all, this is the area which you also, as a beginner, you also have to have more focus, because this is the area which decides actually whether each transaction or each data which is accommodating for an alert or not. So the focus area here with respect to scoring is how to determine a score. Okay, maybe let's give a simple example. One customer will do a normal transaction. Let's assume normal transaction. One customers will have only 10,000 in their account on a monthly basis, and they will go for transaction amount of like 3,000 withdrawal on a monthly basis. And other customer will have in the same bank where they will hold 1 lakh in their balance, and they will go for 30,000 a month withdrawal. So how to mutualize this behavior or scoring between these two? At one point of time, if the 3,000 the customer who is withdrawing 3,000, if it goes for exceeding that amount, let's say next month he is withdrawing 7,000, then there is some attention required to that, right? So how to understand that and how to mutualize this scoring and all? Pure business will happen on the scoring. Once you understood, it differs from different customer and different customers customer and everything all together. Making it a generalizing solution is actual challenge to compliance department, together with this implementation of the development team which is handling this Actimize. Okay, so this is the area where most of the time it requires revisiting. It's not a freezed value. Maybe today it will be like a freezed value, tomorrow it's subject to change. So on a periodic basis we need to revisiting the scoring is nothing but, if, as I said, the behavior is 3,000 and it is exceeding 3,000, then an alert should generate. How I know the exceeding 3,000? I understood this profile of the customer and they are doing the transaction on a monthly basis 3,000. Maybe I can set a limit of 5,000 maximum, not 100%, maybe 5,000 maximum. If it exceeds like 5,000, accordingly, like if I have to generalize, I cannot go and return in the code like if for this customer 5,000. Instead, I have to generalize it and make it. I'm giving a simple example. Okay, I have to make it generalized like it should be like not more than double. Okay, if I make that rule in place, not more than double means normal transaction behavior is 3,000. If I have into less than or equal to multiplied by 2 with actual value, transaction value, then that means it should be always less than 6,000. If it exceeds, then generate an alert. Okay, once this all scoring everything happen, then comes the action part. This action part is giving more focus to the compliance body and the regulatory body. They will have a challenge. Most of the times what it happens in the current scenario is, most of the times it will go for a false alert, false positive, meaning it appears to be like a true hit or a true alert. As I said in this example, let's go with the simple example. As I said in this example, if he withdraws 6,000, that doesn't mean that he done something wrong, correct? Maybe he would have had some additional need at that month that made him to withdraw. So understanding that on a regular basis, for example, on every year, 4th month he used to withdraw this amount, or for a couple of months he has the probability of withdrawing more amount than usual. So those kind of scenarios doesn't require more attention, or if we spare attention, that means that we are focusing on a wrong direction, or it is not at all required for our attention, or manual effort or whatever effort, associated effort is of waste. So that is actually the challenge. And if on the other hand, if the complete 10,000 is withdrawn, that doesn't mean that is a false alert also. Okay, that understanding that is actually.
I have an idea about this heat and false positive and how to close it, blocking alert and non-blocking alert and all. So I'm more in.
You are working on alert handling.
Yeah, AML, it's a continuity payment monitoring system. Similar only, we feed the payment data and then it generate the logic alerts and then it close it, and then we have the rules. So rules that can suppress it and all. Only thing is, I am trying to understand is what is Actimize and why, does it have any regulatory reporting or any of the things? More of the Actimize tool point of view I'm looking for. Okay. So that as is, once I know this, I can tell that Actimize also I can work on it in my interview or anywhere like. And I can kind of, instead of showing my, I'm getting the data, I can say I worked on the Actimize to get this data.
Okay, now I got it. So you are part of alert handling team. Okay, that's the central first level of action. Yes, I got it. Then it should be known to you. Then I will not waste time here. Okay, then we have this RCM open.
More kind of want to familiar with the Actimize. So
okay, got it. Now I got the picture. I thought you will be working on the reports generated out of Actimize. Okay, now I got it. You are working on the alerts itself.
No, no, I'm not working on the alerts. I'm familiar with the flow. It's
Mm-hmm.
similar, but how it is kind of components involved in Actimize, any reporting, all that stuff. That is the only thing. And the
Mm-hmm.
backend tables, all those things. So that
Can we put in different way? Then your current focus is to make sure that you are able to let the people, whoever you are going to give a try or whoever you are going to give an interview, to let them know that you worked on it.
yes.
So what and all the basic things required to make sure that they will have a feel that you already worked on it, like that. Is
Yeah,
that
but
correct?
like it's just not for them to
Yeah,
feel it,
yeah,
right?
I got you. I got you.
If they assign a work, I don't
I
want
got
to
it.
okay that
No, no.
time come and want to
Uh-huh.
learn and kind of we
Uh-huh.
don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just I thought,
Uh-huh.
why don't I learn it and then show that, and it will be always useful, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay.
So in
Okay.
terms of, let's say you need to feed the transaction data, or you need to install it, or you need to upgrade the Actimize. So what I'll just going through on that, and then I'll have the basic idea of, right. So this
Mm-hmm.
components is called Tomcat. For the RCM requires what component, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
how to feed the data, and what is the interface, is it MQ or is it file based, or where to look
Mm-hmm.
at the configurations, those kind of things, and what are the key configurations, and then what are the key functionality within the RCM. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if it is just a alert and then close it, false positive, not positive, then pass it, or then what will happen, those kind of things.
Okay. Okay. Got you. So maybe to understand a little more on this tool perspective, which RCM version you are using.
I'm not using RCM at all.
Okay.
I'm
So have
using
you
more
had
the
a chance to?
Microsoft continuity monitoring system, similar to that.
Okay. Okay. Uh-huh.
So, but when I say I worked on it, if they have a lot of expectation in telling the
Mm-hmm.
RCM, what is RCM and all, I would not know, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason this training for.
Okay, so you're not a handling team also. Maybe a different platform to handle the life cycle of the alert. Is that understanding correct? Not RCM as a whole.
Yeah, exactly. Different product you can think of. So if the flow and the workflow kind of thing, or
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
maybe the functionality point of view, I know.
uh-huh.
But within Actimize respect to, you can explain from that aspect. Don't
Okay,
think that I'm like from the beginning or all like that.
okay. I was told actually. Okay, I thought it's a purely basic for you. Okay, then you should
I
have.
mean, basic for me from Actimize point of view, not from functional point of view.
Okay, okay, got you.
Monitoring tool and AML, or and we have the rules, we can suppress it based on the
Uh,
transaction data. If you know
uh-huh,
the pattern, those patterns need not be generated alert, then you
uh-huh,
can
uh-huh.
write a rule to suppress it. Those are nice. But I know the rule file where it is for the my system. So where
Okay,
how the Actimize works it, and how
okay,
what kind of component, and those kind of things I want to learn, so
okay.
that it will be similar, but at least I
Can
should
relate.
know. Yeah.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Got you. Okay, maybe then we'll go with UI. Probably it will be new for you. Okay, this is how UI looks. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
normal Actimize UI will looks. It's called RCM. Okay, so by
Mm-hmm.
default, as soon as I log in, okay, so I will come from the beginning. What will happen is I log in as admin. Hope you have seen it. I log in as admin. This admin privilege will be given to the normal, I mean the IT people only. and whoever admins this, and it will not be given to the normal user. Probably if you would have, for example, assume that you are working on a tool in Actimize itself, you will be given with the credentials of analyze role. That all depends on the role. Okay, that part are you aware? The role concepts associated business unit concepts. Okay. So that again, it's my responsibility to let you aware. That is the key concept. Have it in mind. That is the key concept to have access to this RCM tool. Okay, if you are a user and you don't have a role, then that means you cannot able to even log in. Okay, whenever if I logged in as an admin, that means I have a role admin with me. Okay, and let's go in deep with respect to the user management stuff of RCM and how it actually impacts the business in coming slides. Maybe for now, I will focus on this tool part. Okay, as soon as I log in, what will happen is my username will be validated under the corresponding role. Okay, when I say validated under the corresponding role, we have a functionality here. And this is called a landing page. As soon as we log in, the page is coming. This is called the landing page. Okay, so for example, I'm having an admin user here. So this admin user, I can go with maybe this in a sample user creation, we can do it later. But this admin user, this is a basic question you also can expect in the interview, how we will do all this stuff and how it is important. Okay, so this admin user will have a associated role with it. Okay, without this role, no user can, even I have the username and password which is there in the system also, but if I'm not mapped with the role, I will not able to log in. Okay, so then comes when we say about the role, what and all this role will have within this role, what and all will be we will be listing is, okay, for this user, I need to list out only this business unit. I mean the alerts of only this business unit, or the cases of only this business unit, or they should have this dashboard, or they should have this report generation plugin, or they should have this like a custom plugin which is built. Whatever UI related stuff which we are doing in RCM Designer, by default it will be visible to the super privileged user called admin. But when it comes to this normal users or the alert handling user or the complaints officers, we can restrict their view, whatever they are seeing it. Since it's a generalizing tool, we have to restrict based on the business unit. How we can restrict is using the role. So how will you differentiate between two users working for the same business unit? Like that, if some questions or some kind of understanding or something you are thinking, then it is coming to the picture of roles. So this is important. Even this role and the user level, there should be a business unit by default, though it is not a mandatory. It will help by default Actimize functionality. I'm saying this user level, when we create a user, maybe I'll show you quickly. I'm not going to create a user, just to showing you the mandatory fields. Okay, if you can see, this business unit is not a mandatory field. Like others, the business unit is not a mandatory field. But if I am ignoring giving this business unit to the user, what will happen is it will try to incorporate the business unit from the role. Okay, what the role is following, the user also will follow. Okay, this is with respect to the business unit, but some of the functionality, key functionality, still Actimize is working on fixing that. Still depends on the user is depending on the user level business unit, though that is not mandatory. So this part also you should consider. Business unit for user level not mandatory, though that is the case. If it is there in the role level, it is fine. Though that is the case, still some key features within this with respect to solution level and product level is depending on user level business unit. That part we have to have it in mind. So the best practice here is to understand the user and provide them with the associated business unit in the user level itself, though we are giving it in role level. Okay, so because of this is happening, and I will just give a hint regarding the group concept also. So why group is required? And if I have 10 users, out of 10 users, hope you have this idea. If you have this idea, let me know, I'll stop it. Okay, if we have 10 users for a particular business unit, let's say X, for X business unit, we have 10 users. to handle the outcome of this RCM, I mean the outcome of the alerts, okay, generated from AIS. If you have 10 users, on this 10 users, 3 users or 4 users are for simply the first level alert handling to understand whether it's a false positive or true positive or whether it requires an attention. And I will segregate them under the low level business unit, or in the tree hierarchy of the business unit. Let me keep it under the low level, and for them I will go with the dedicated group. Okay, so first level alert handlers, like that I will create a separate group. But what is the use of group is, let's go with the example. If I'm having a wrapper, if I'm getting a resume, if I'm having a wrapper, I understood that it is a fresher resume, I can simply keep it in this fresher cover or fresher wrapper, so that the same thing, and he has experience, though he's fresher to this technical department, he's experienced in the HR department. So if I have 2 resumes of him, I can even place him in this fresher part for technical side, technical fresher, and also in the cover of HR department, so that I can use him for 2. Though he's a single person, since I have 2, I added them into 2 covers, I can use him, I can provide him a privilege to have access to both. This is the same concept here. When I'm adding to the group, no need to focus on the role, no need to focus on the business unit apart from the user level. Okay. For a simple example, complaints department, the top level business unit, I will be, as I said, for this 10 user level, 4 users are the middle bottom level users, and the rest 3 users are the middle level users who will work on the result of the first level alert handlers. First level alert handlers will do some investigation. Also, let's say 100 alerts generated, out of 100 alerts, they will provide 30 alerts to the second level alert handlers. Their job is to focus only on those 30 alerts. Okay, once this 30 alerts are investigated, it will go like, as at the end, it will go like 10 alerts to the third level, that's complaints department. Okay, so this complaints department, either I can go with the group concept for them dedicatedly, or I can add them to both the groups, meaning I can add them to the first level alert handlers also and the second level alert handlers also, meaning I'm giving them a privilege to work on the alerts at the starting level itself, and also I'm giving them a privilege to work on the alerts on the second level also, on top of their final decision. Okay, this is where the group concept is. It will be easy to manage the users. That's where the group concept is actually helping. If a new user comes tomorrow, when you are coming and joining, so if I'm adding to understanding your role, what is going to be your role in Actimize tool, RCM tool, and accordingly I can add it to the corresponding group, so that I no need to bother except your mail ID and other stuff which is mandatory asked here. I no need to bother about the rest of the things. Okay, this is where it is. And with respect to our login, admin, it is having the associated role administrator. That's how I am able to log in. Okay, this is the part. I'm going back 1 second. So this is called landing page. Okay, so I will define it in the RCM where to land, either in this cases or in workbench. Most of the customers will go with the alert as the landing page. Okay, what is the difference between alerts and cases? You have idea? Alerts and cases. Alerts are simply, we will sometimes call it as work items. You have any idea regarding this? Or cases and work items? Maybe with your new tool. Any understanding?
Just alert.
Just alert. Okay. Okay, then I need to tell you about the cases also. Okay, alerts is like a normal entity. As I told in that picture also, you know the workflow. As soon as the logic matches, an alert will be generated. Okay, there is an additional concept to it called cases. Okay, when I said couple of solution, let's go with the high level example. Couple of solution I told, right? One is sanction alert, one is transaction alert, one is the CDD. Okay, I am having a new customer. I am just screening that customer data. Okay, while doing the screening, I understood he's part of a sanction person. Okay, so that solution will generate an alert, and that alert will come here. Okay, and when it comes to the CDD profiling, there also it will see that something suspicious and it will go for an alert, some information lag or something. That alert again for the same person will come here under CDD. It's, as I said, a different solution will have different thing. Some customers still going with a single RCM to manage all the alerts together. Okay. Then third thing, I am given with the access and everything to him, and he's doing a transaction which is like more than the provided value. Like he's doing a transaction of like 10 billions or 10 millions, for example. Then there also one alert I will get. How a normal person who's doing the alert handling can correlate. Okay. To help him ease the process, we are having a case concept. Like the group, we have it for the user level, we have the cases for the alert level. I can collate 2 or more alerts into a case, and it should have a separate for a dedicated pattern for it. When I say it is a wrapper, I will, for in this example, what I told, I will have a dedicated case item. In that case item, I'll have this sanction alert, I will have this CDD alert, I will have this SAM alert. So for investigator also to follow the procedure or follow, they will have the list of standard procedure to follow to make it to the closure state, right? While doing so, they will also have an idea, okay, not only here, it is also affecting there. So even if you are closing it, then it is not a problem on our end. And anyway, this alert is still valid. I mean, this case is still valid because of another alert, another associated alert. We can mention simply like all the associated alerts will be put together and it will be under a cases. Okay, this is where the case concept used to be, and mostly customers will go for workbench, meaning only alerts will be visible irrespective of the linking between those alerts. I mean the association
So that
between.
we have the concept of hits, alert versus hit. So is it the same case you're talking?
Hits is a different hit is the factor to understand whether alert should be generated or not. Okay, maybe we'll go with this example. Hit is the child to alert, alert is the child to case. There can be, okay, one more thing I will add, maybe to understand better between hits and alerts. Okay, if we say hit, I'm getting a hit, I'm writing a rule in the rule book. I am writing a rule. If a person with the let me go with the same example. If a person of X person doing the transaction more than 3,000 a month, or more than like double times of the 3,000, then I should generate an alert. This rule purely based on the transaction or the money withdrawal this X person is doing. So rule number 1, that will follow on hit. Okay. Second rule, this person is opening a new account with the sanction person. Okay. And that will follow a separate rule. Okay. That will go for another hit. Okay. So I will have 2 hits here. Correct. So based on it depends again on the complaints at the end of the day wants, either if they want 2 alerts out of a single hit, a single alert, or 2 hits combined to a single alert, it is dependent on them. Okay, we cannot decide on that because it depends on the business also how they are going to. If it is going to be more alerts, then more resources needs to be invoked to handle those business, and how critical or how severity that is all depends on the complaints and regulatory perspective, that is from the complaints department. That part we cannot decide, but for your understanding, either we can go for an individual alert for a hit or clubbing together. We know these both are related to a single person, correct, and we can club it as a single alert. At the end, single alert will have 2 hits or more than 2 hits also possible, but it's not. This is the same case with the cases also. If I open a case, I will know, like a normal filing a case. Okay, normal filing a case. If I open a case file of a particular person, let's say a police station, to open a file case of a particular person, I know what and all wrong he has done from his in his life. Okay, like that. That will have, let's say, associated the each crime he has done with an associated alert. Okay, then I will have a list of alert that will be clubbed or combined together as a case. This will help the alert handlers to ease the case. Also, it will help compliance department to give broader view. including the history or including the other pattern or other solution behavior of the customer, single customer as a single point of view. This is where the cases will be helpful. Mostly this case concepts and all will be used by multinational banks, not by the normal corporates where they want to put it, as I said in my first day, some of the customers simply keeping it only to follow the regulatory and compliance thing. For them, they will not go with the cases and all. It will be there only when multiple business are happening within the organization. They will go for a single case, I mean the case concept. Okay. Anything, doubts or something you have till now? Hello? Hello, Shrikant?
Yeah.
Anything you feel like doubts or something till now?
Yeah. Fine.
Okay. Then okay. Then this is a landing page.
Cases I understand is all related on that for a particular
Your voice is low. Can you come again?
No, cases is like all.
Again, your voice is going low. When you're talking, it is fine, and again, it is going low. Cases I heard. What about the rest?
The cases, all the alerts, let's say 2 alerts generated for a customer, and those 2 alerts related and grouped to as a case for a particular customer.
Yeah, it again depends on the business. As like I told for hit, right? Okay, either they want it as a separate alert for each hit or different alert or a single alert. The same way for case also, either they want to have like CDD case separately. I mean customer due diligence cases separately, and the same customer watch list filtering, sanction screening alert separately. They will have 2 cases, and 2 cases can have a single alert. Meaning I can have a case wrapper. One more thing to be noted here is all the cases doesn't require more than 2 alerts should be there. It can even have a single alert also possible. Okay. At the end of the day, whatever the investigation I'm doing, all will be filed under a case, even though it is a single alert. And those cases with respect to sanction will be taken by the compliance department. CDD will be taken, and SAM will be taken, and altogether altogether they will have 3 cases for a same person, and they will have their report in such a way. At all again depends on the reporting format they expect from business point of view. Okay. And on the other simple example which I give, some customer will be there. I don't want to make it more complex. I will have everything together. If it comes from different solution, I want to put everything together and I have to form it as a single case. Again, this and all will be the communication or the discussion happen at the time of onboarding the Actimize to the customer point between NICE Actimize PS team called the professional service team. They will work together with the business point of contact of the corresponding customer. They will both decide together how this has to be dealt. On top of this, compliance department also help them to confirm this procedure, whatever they have framed out. Okay. So don't stick to the point that single, okay, all cases, all alerts from different solution can be put together and it can be formed as a case later. Okay, it again depends on the business. That is also possible. From Actimize tool perspective, both are possible. Let's keep it simple. Both are possible. However business wants, we can frame it. Okay. Is it fine? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, it's fine, right? Hello, can you hear me? Couldn't hear you.
Hello?
Your voice is too low. Hello? I understood you were speaking something, but
Hello? Yeah.
no, Shrikant, I cannot hear you.
Hello? Hello.
Hello.
Good. Hello. Good.
Yeah. Now, okay. Now I hear you. Okay. Okay. Then let me introduce to one more thing. This is called server monitor. I have not talked about this anywhere. Okay. So regarding the server monitor, what is the server monitor means? This is a child product of Actimize Visual Modeler. Okay. Let me show you from here. You can see here, right? Show server monitor. What it does is, what is running, what logic is currently running in the server, that will be shown here. In the process tab, once as soon as I open, I have to connect the same way like I connected the modeler. Okay. As soon as I connected, I will have the process running with that corresponding AIS will be listed here. Maybe let's go with the past one. Okay. You can see these are all the logics or the activities which run on this process. I mean, in this AIS machine. To monitor that, okay, currently transaction monitoring screening is happening or sanction screening is happening. How I know that the so and so sanctions screening is happening and what is the progress and when it is going to expected to complete? That screening is kind of like a job which will start with the data provided by us, as I said, the transaction or whatever data, and that will be feed to the AS, and that AS logic, as I said, the code will be there that we can go in depth in the coming classes, that will do the detection logic, and this detection logic, the progress of this detection logic and the steps, we can find it from here. Okay. The progress and all this. So this tool, Actimize server monitor, is also one another tool you need to remember. That is a, simply to say, that is a child of Actimize Visual Modeler. Visual Modeler, I can go with some changes to the code, and once I execute that, to understand how the progress of the run is, I can go with simply, I connected here, right? Maybe I'll show you here. Once I connected here, if I click here, the associated process will open. So Actimize by default provide server monitor separately to avoid access to this visual modeler. Okay, by default Actimize expectation, I have to tell you here. By default Actimize expectation is no customer should have Actimize modeler, I mean Actimize Visual Modeler installed for their production. This is their basic expectation. The reason being, if there is some tweakings, some changes happen to this detection logic, that will lead to compliance regulation or compliance violation. Okay. To avoid that, they are not at all recommending any of the customer to have visual modeler. But we need to, as an operation team or a person who's understanding or following this detection logic, we need to have the UI, right, to understand what job is actually running on that machine. I'm not going to change the code. Instead, I just want to see what process is running on that machine. For that, I need to have this server monitor. That is the scope of this server monitor, separately having it separate too. Okay. So just to observe from operation, I cannot do any changes here apart from stopping the process. If some process is running, I can stop the process.
Okay.
Okay, that's
why. Shall we continue next class?
Okay, it's late for you. Okay.
Yeah.